For a lot of people, this was a wonderful Easter weekend. But for some, this was Wrestlemania weekend, the most important weekend of the year. And much like Wrestlemania, I'm going to be doing a bit of a two-part results and review video. So this is going to be part one. It's going to be the results.
aka Kelly, and you're watching Wrestling Express podcast.
So with that being said, before WrestleMania, I did some predictions that may or may not have been accurate. So we're just going to rip through these. Like I said, we're going to do a full review after WrestleMania weekend is over in Las Vegas, probably sometime later this week. But for now, this is going to be more of your one-stop shop, getting all the results pretty quick. So let's get right into it. First match, night one, April 19th, was Jey Uso versus Gunther. My prediction was Gunther was going to win. He did not win. Jey Uso won, unfortunately. Match two was the War Raiders versus New Day. My prediction was War Raiders. Once again, was not correct. New Day ended up winning. Next match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now, this was my first right match. I predicted Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill won. Next match was Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. I predicted Jacob Fatu was going to win, and he did. So far, 2-2. Not too bad. Now, the next match is an interesting one because when I did my predictions video, that was prior to me learning that Rey Mysterio was injured. He was replaced by Rey Fenix. So it changed my prediction a little bit, but not really. I had Rey Mysterio winning. In theory, you could say that I had changed my prediction to Rey Fenix, and I thought that El Grande Americano was going to get unmasked. None of that happened. El Grande Americano won, did not get unmasked. So that was way wrong. Next up was Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Another one I was right about. Tiffany Stratton taking the win. Obviously, it got a little bit hairy at times, but I was right. That's all that matters. Next up, Match 7, main event, could not have been more wrong. I said that Paul Heyman was not going to side with Seth Rollins. I said Seth Rollins was not going to win this match. I said that Roman was going to win this match. And both of the things that I said were absolutely not going to happen is exactly what happened. Seth Rollins won. Paul Heyman turned on Roman and CM Punk, siding with Seth Rollins to help him win the match. So with that being said, total percentage for night one was 43% correct, which means 57% incorrect. Now we'll move on to night two. Now night two, again, was a little different because I had missed a match. When I did my predictions video, I knew that Randy Orton obviously lost his WrestleMania opponent. I did not realize he was going to do an open challenge. So that one I did not include in my predictions video. So I guess I'll just talk about that one now. My prediction, once I knew it was going to happen, for who was going to come out was wrong. I would have never guessed Joe Hendry in a million years. Nor do I think that a TNA wrestler should have a WrestleMania spotlight. With that being said, I don't mean people who were in TNA and now are in WWE, specifically people like AJ Styles, Jordan Grace. Now, these are people who were in TNA and are now signed with WWE. They work for the company. Cool. Give them the spotlight in WWE because that's where they are. But in my opinion, Joe Hendry should not have been Randy Orton's WrestleMania opponent. That's not to say that I have the perfect pick for his WrestleMania opponent, but it shouldn't have been a dude from another company just to get squashed pretty good. It didn't do a whole lot for TNA. It didn't do a lot for their world champion. And it really didn't do a lot for Randy Orton because The match was 3 minutes and 10 seconds long. I mean, he just ripped through this guy. So if you want to count it, once I knew it was Joe Hendry, I could have told you that Randy Orton was going to beat him, but I'm not going to include that in the numbers at the end of the video here. The first match was Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Again, couldn't have been more wrong. I said that Io Sky was not going to retain, and I couldn't decide between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Io Sky ended up retaining. First match wrong for night 2. Second match for night 2 was Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I said that because Damian Priest won last year, Drew McIntyre was going to win this year, and that's exactly what happened. One right, one wrong so far. Next up was Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. Had a hard time. I had said that I didn't think Braun Breaker was going to win, but I couldn't figure out who was going to win between the other people in the match. So I went with Braun Breaker for whatever dumb reason, and he ended up losing. And now Dominic Mysterio is your new Intercontinental Champion. I will say, did not have that on my bingo card for this year. The next match was the Randy Orton match, which we talked about already. Next match after that was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Now, I had said that Logan was going to win, and he did. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Doesn't mean that anyone's happy about it. It was just my prediction, and I got it right. Next up was kind of a little WrestleMania twist with Lyra and Bayley being the match that I had for my prediction. Bayley ended up getting attacked. We'll see what happens there. I can't imagine them doing an exact repeat of the Naomi, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill storyline. I would like to think that they'd be smart enough to not do the exact same storyline 2 times in a row, but who knows? We'll see. Anyway, with that being said, it ended up being Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch said that she was not going to be wrestling anymore. So do with that what you will. Lyra and Becky ended up winning. Now they are the women's tag team champion, which means that she's going to have to be wrestling again. So I got that wrong. Next up was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And even though the Kansas City Chiefs did not win the Super Bowl, John Cena won his 17th world championship, beating Cody Rhodes with the help of Travis Scott, which was totally unnecessary. But with that being said, I got that right too. With the matches that I predicted, night 2, a little bit better, 50-50 split on right-wrong. Total percentage for both nights, overall, WrestleMania, was 54% wrong, 46% right. So, I mean, that's almost 50-50. If you 100% disagreed with me or you 100% agreed with me and you bet on all of it, you probably lost more than you got back. Either way, I'll do a more in-depth video on kind of some of my thoughts between the matches and the whole WrestleMania weekend. First initial thoughts for WrestleMania, pretty underwhelming in my opinion. Part of the highlight of WrestleMania is really cool entrances, and we did not get that at all. We got CM Punk, but I mean, Cena, I understand. He said we were going to get nothing, and he gave us nothing. But yeah, I couldn't even tell you like what the super cool entrances were. Bianca Belair had some people come out with her, but this was not. Tiffany Stratton had a cool, decent entrance, but this was not the entrances that I think of when I think of WrestleMania entrances. I think of bands, I think of different performers. And especially in Las Vegas, you have the performers there. So I'm not sure where the disconnect was on why in a place that is synonymous with big shows, big performances, why there was none of that in the entrances. Also, I think more than not, there were a handful of matches that were kind of underwhelming that almost didn't feel WrestleMania caliber. that'll be for my next video for you guys to watch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed WrestleMania. This was my first WrestleMania in a couple years now that I did not go to. And it almost makes me happy, not necessarily happy that I didn't, but it makes me feel a bit more okay with the fact that I didn't, knowing that watching it at home, it wasn't a star-studded great WrestleMania for me, especially with those ticket prices. My first initial thought is it was not worth it. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. That's just my opinion. We'll see. Today's Monday, so we'll get Monday Night Raw in Vegas, and then I believe Tuesday NXT is going to be at Fontainebleau, so that should be kind of different, kind of fun. We'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed WrestleMania. Hopefully you guys enjoy the next couple of events coming up, and I'll see you for my next video.